Alright, what's up guys? So, I always would see this video and it was just one of those videos where it's like, one day I'll sit down and watch it. Today is that day. Yeah, Destiny, they have uploaded a video titled the first minutes the dinosaurs went extinct. Yeah, man, cause it's one of those things where it's all like, dang man, like how did they, cause they be finding the fossils and they were just them dinosaurs, they were just probably all just chilling somewhere, and then just out of nowhere, they're like, look it up now, like, that meteor getting kind of close, ain't it? And then, yeah, next thing you know, like, years and years later, you got, like, some scientists digging it up, talking about, oh, yeah, this was a TMossBoss. Like, yeah, they, it was one of those, like, them smaller dinosaurs. They, it did damage, but it wasn't like a T-Rex or something, so... No, let's go ahead and check this video out, see what it's all about. If you haven't, make sure you go subscribe to Destiny for more videos like this. People are still shooting off fireworks, bro. Like, that's some crazy stuff, but anyways.
Everyone knows that a giant rock from outer space hit the planet millions of years ago and wiped out the dinosaurs. Now, with advanced technology, researchers have been able to put together a new timeline showing what really happened. And not only this, they think they know where the giant asteroid came from. Is Earth the target for another huge space rock? And would we be able to survive? You'll be surprised and probably shocked at what NASA astronomers recently discovered. So now...
They always be talking about it, like how, asteroids or whatever be coming like all close to Earth, and then it's like, you hear it, then it's like, oh, okay, that day done passed, and then they talk on it again and stuff. So, and then knowing like NASA, military, and a bunch of other different places, they all would try to team up and do something to try to stop it and things, but I don't know, it's one of those, I just hope that it doesn't. I'd like, it'd be crazy, but anyway.
Ready to experience the disaster that almost wiped out life completely on Earth. The giant asteroid's impact into shallow waters in the Gulf of Mexico 65 million years ago was bad enough. But then an amalgam of additional disasters ensued. Rocks fell from the sky, wildfires ignited, and tsunamis inundated distant shorelines. The researchers found that the first day of the Cenozoic was peppered with cataclysms and released a new record of this day of chaos in Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences. Their timeline was developed using high-resolution photography, microscopy, computed tomography imaging, and magnetic measurements of hundreds of feet of sedimentary rock recently recovered from Chicxulub, one of the largest impact craters on Earth. And it all began like this. Imagine you were somewhere in North America about 65 million years ago, when dinosaurs ruled the Earth, and you were looking up at the night sky. You would have probably seen what appeared to be a bright star shining off into the distance. But if you watch this peculiar light for an hour or two, the object would seem to grow in brightness, but barely move. What you would be looking at is not a star, but a huge asteroid somewhere between 11 to 80 kilometers wide on a direct intercept course with the Earth at 72,420 kilometers per hour. Hours later, the asteroid plows through Earth's atmosphere, heading straight for where the Yucatan Peninsula is today. At impacts of that speed, Earth's atmosphere acts like water. Smaller space rocks called meteors hit the atmosphere like pebbles thrown into a pond and decelerate rapidly at high altitudes, burning away from the friction of the atmosphere, while some bigger pieces of rock survive and fall to Earth. But the mountain-sized Chicxulub asteroid hits our atmosphere like throwing a boulder into a puddle. It maintained its velocity and plunged through the entire 60 miles of atmosphere in just 3 seconds. The asteroid shrieks over Central America, emitting the mother of all sonic booms that would shatter eardrums across all the continents. The dinosaurs were likely terrified and running in all directions, having no idea what was just about to happen. But if any animal was close enough to see the asteroid, they would have been instantly vaporized within minutes. In fact, except for sea turtles and crocodiles, no four-legged animal larger than 25 kilograms would survive. The mountain-sized space rock falls so quickly that the air itself cannot escape. Under intense compression, the air heats to thousands of degrees almost instantly. Before the asteroid even hits, compressed superheated air vaporizes much of the shallow sea that covers the Yucatan. Milliseconds later, the rock plunges.
It's like, I guess like the best way that I could explain it to people, it's like if you hold your hand next to something that's hot, like, you know, cook some food in the oven or even just on the stove, wherever, and then it's like, you know, that heat that's like surrounding it. So yeah, imagine that heat, but like 7 miles, like, you know, big, or however big they said this asteroid was. Yeah, I imagine, yeah, that's anything in the area is just, yeah, it's gonna be gone and stuff. So, or even that that bomb that they talk about in there's like, that was like the Hiroshima, and how it just, yeah, so it's like kinda something along those lines, you know. But anyway,
through what's left and slams into bedrock. In that moment, a chain reaction of events occurs. The impacting asteroid exerts so much pressure on the Earth that soil and rock flow like fluids. The flowing up and down movement of the Earth is like the double splash of someone doing a cannonball in a swimming pool. The initial splash in all directions is followed by a delayed vertical splash when the cavity created by the asteroid rebounds to the surface. The first wall of Earth gouged outward at the moment of impact is more than 32 kilometers high. The impact hole nearly breaches Earth's mantle, and when the cavity rebounds to form the delayed vertical splash, the Earth rises at over 1,600 kilometers per hour to heights taller than Mount Everest. Within minutes, this mountain of debris almost entirely collapses in a series of secondary explosions, leaving behind a smaller mound called a crater's peak ring. At the same moment the asteroid strikes the Yucatan and applies its pressure to the bedrock, it converts the kinetic energy of a 7.5 billion ton rock traveling 16 kilometers per second into searing heat in an instant. The Chicxulub impactor delivers approximately 1 septillion, 300 sextillion kilojoules of energy.
Dang,
more energy
like, bro,
than 1 billion
that.
Hiroshima atomic bombs.
He said
More energy than billion, 300 sextillion kilojoules of energy. More energy than 1 billion Hiroshima atomic bombs.
Wow.
The kinetic energy transferred by the asteroid to the soil, rock, and air excites the molecules to temperatures far hotter than the surface of the sun. The heat rips electrons from atoms, ionizing the air into an expanding fireball of plasma in excess of 10,000 degrees, turbocharged with vaporized rock that's blasted out at hypersonic speeds. The heated, rapidly expanding air and near instantaneous conversion of Earth to gas, combined with the impact shockwave itself, forms a massive blast wave of pressure expanding outward at more than 1,600 kilometers per hour. If this asteroid hit the same spot today, the blast wave would vaporize you in Texas, deafen you in New York, and blow out glass windows in Buenos Aires.
Wow.
The Chicxulub impactor rings Earth like a bell. Waves in Earth's crust radiate away from the impact zone at 4 kilometers per second.
Yeah, I think,
the waves then trigger fault-slipping
earthquakes
across the continents.
Of course. I sit down and think about it, and I'm like, yeah, man, that's crazy. You know, just kind of hearing it, like, you know of the history, but then when you actually know how much damage it did, then it's like, wow, like that's some crazy stuff.
On
man.
The other side of the world, you would feel the ground shaking 30 minutes after impact.
Dang.
The impact triggers tsunamis as high as skyscrapers. The first of them hit Gulf coastlines within the hour. Waves ranging from 600 feet to perhaps as tall as 1,000 feet smash into what is now Mexico and the southern United States and flood tens of miles inland. The waves temporarily reverse the flow of rivers, rushing up riverbeds like 30-foot tidal bores. Tsunamis smash into the eastern coast of the United States, and 6 hours after impact, max out at 600-foot high walls of water that slam into Europe, Africa, and the Mediterranean coasts. Within 15 hours of impact, waves arrive on every coastline on the planet. Depending on local topography, the ocean sweeps away anything in its path and sucks it back to the sea when the waters finally retreat. It already sounds like Armageddon, but even more disasters are on their way.
Dang, get they
When the
over
big
yet?
rock strikes, its splash accounts for 25 trillion tons of Earth that it launches on ballistic trajectories, some at speeds that exceeds Earth's escape velocity. These rocks excited Earth's gravitational pull to either orbit the Sun, and some of this material probably reached the Moon. But the majority of ejected debris returned back to Earth within the hour. These glass-like chunks, called tektites, some as large as buses, but most the size of marbles, pelt the Earth at speeds ranging from 160 to 320 kilometers per hour in lethal quantities. Regardless of where any remaining dinosaurs were on Earth, they were hit with this fiery hailstorm. But these glass bullets didn't need to hit the dinosaurs to be fatal. As these tektites fall, their friction with the atmosphere emits enough thermal radiation to set fires across the planet.
Wow.
By some estimates, the combined heat of the returning embers heats the planet to the equivalent of an oven set to broil. Most of the world's trees burn, which is perhaps why the only bird species that survive the impact are those that nest on the ground. Of the few larger land animals to avoid extinction, nearly all have had some means of escaping the heat. They either could burrow like small mammals, snakes and lizards, or escape into water like crocodiles or turtles. Even if the poor dinosaurs were on the other side of the world, they would have needed to find protection from the initial heat blast. In a final piece of terrible luck for the dinosaurs, Chicxulub happens to strike an area rich in oil and sulfur. The impact ejects 100 billion tons of vaporized sulfur and 30,000 quadrillion...
I wonder, like, because of course, you know, like, they ain't have, like, no street lights or anything. Like, did it happen during the day or at night? Because, like, that's stuff that I'm thinking about. Because I'm like, I imagine the dinosaurs, they just see something bright and they are like, dang, it ain't never been this bright. They're like, I'm seeing all these different trees and this environment and stuff. That's crazy.
In gallons of water into the atmosphere, which then condenses into massive storm clouds and falls back as torrents of acid rain that acidified the oceans. In the higher latitudes, continental-wide snowstorms deposit tens of feet of snow per day. But the global deluge doesn't last long, because in addition to water, Chicxulub vaporizes and explosively ejects 150 football stadiums worth of oil from the Yucatan bedrock. This oil condenses in the stratosphere as a black sooty layer covering the Earth like a coat of black paint. Unlike the sulfur and wildfire smoke, the carbon circulates high above the cloud layer, stopping it from raining back down. And that becomes another big problem. The soot layer remains in the atmosphere, reducing the amount of sunlight that reaches Earth's surface by 90% for at least 2 to 3 years. The initial oven-like heat brought on by the returning tektites is followed by a deep and long-lasting freeze. Global temperatures drop by an average of almost 50 degrees. The only place on Earth to avoid this deep freeze are Madagascar, India, and Indonesia, which were tropical islands during this time. In the global chill, evaporation almost ceases, dropping rainfall by 80%. Nearly every spot on Earth outside of these tropical islands dries into a desert. Where did this giant rock come from? And is there another one out there headed for us? Researchers using a supercomputer studied asteroid evolution using data from known asteroids. The two-member team of Avi Loeb and Amir Siraj suggested that the Chicxulub asteroid likely originated from the Oort cloud, a sphere of debris at the edge of the solar system. It could have been a much larger comet that was pushed off course by Jupiter's gravitational field and sent close to the Sun, where it broke into several pieces. These fragments can cross the Earth's orbit and hit the planet once every 250 to 730 million years. Wow. Judging from this study, it's not a matter of if we could be hit by another giant rock from outer space, but when. On Saturday, December the 11th, 2021, NASA revealed that a 330-meter-long asteroid named 4660 Nereus screamed past Earth around 3.8 million kilometers at a speed of 6.5 kilometers per second. While you might not think this is very close, any slight deviation in its orbit could put it on a direct course with us and smash into the Earth in the future. Astronomers are tracking this potentially hazardous rock and say it'll come within 1.1 million kilometers of Earth on Valentine's Day in 2060. Buy your flowers and get those proposals done early just in case. Keep in mind, the asteroid that caused the Chelyabinsk explosion in Russia in 2013 was just 20 meters in size. The bad thing is that we don't have any known way to defend the Earth from a giant space rock. However, NASA's DART mission, or Double Asteroid Redirection Test, will try to see if a spacecraft can autonomously navigate to a target asteroid and intentionally
they'll figure
collide
out
with it,
something,
causing a kinetic impact that could push the asteroid off a collision course with the Earth. DART's target is Dinosaurs, an asteroid moonlet which orbits a larger asteroid named Didymos. The spacecraft is set to arrive in late September 2022, when the Didymos system is 11 million kilometers from Earth. However, it's estimated that the collision will change the speed of the moonlet by a fraction of 1.
Yeah, but it's like, you gotta think about it though. It's like, it might stop it this initial time, but what if it like messes up something and then that like asteroid comes flying back towards us? So I'm thinking like in the future, ahead of that future, because I'm like, hi, you know, we don't know what they'll do.
1%.
So I
Stopping
mean, I don't
a
know.
10-kilometer wide
I ain't no
orbit.
scientist. I failed science when I was in high school. So yeah, I'm just saying, like, I don't know these things, but I like to think a little bit, you know.
Bigger asteroid hurtling towards the planet at more than 72,000 kilometers per second will take a lot more than a small spacecraft impacting it.
I was getting invested.
Perhaps the
This
world
needs to
would
be like
need to
an hour
try
special.
nuclear weapons, like in the movie Armageddon. Maybe you have an idea how we could stop a world-ending asteroid, and you'll become famous. Let us know what you think, and make sure to stay tuned here for more exciting stuff happening in our universe. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, bruh. If it was left up to me, like I was a president or something, they were all like, you know, Mr. President, what should we do? I'm like, hey, look, I'm gonna be real with y'all. I don't know. I wouldn't know what to do in no situation like that. That is crazy, man. Yeah, it's you know, it's one of those things where I'm like, hey, it would have been really messed up being the dinosaur back then. That's all I'm gonna say about that. But that was a good video though. I was like, dang man, I felt like I was watching like one of those like not Animal Planet, like what like history, like the History Channel. I feel like I was watching one of their like segments, but dang, this should have been like an hour long and stuff. This guy, whoever this guy is, this Destiny guy, I'm like, nah, bro. You better get you like a segment on TV at some point, because nah, that was pretty good. That was a pretty good video. So make sure if you guys haven't, go subscribe to the Destiny channel, like, subscribe to me too, and I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching, and peace.